Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about credit cards. You just turned 18, you just got your first card. How can we use this wisely to build up a credit score and not get into credit card debt? Credit cards are definitely really useful. They're really nice, but we got to be smart with them because if we're not, it can lead us down a path that we do not want to go down, one that will take a lot of work to get out of, all right? So I think credit card debt is definitely like one of the worst things you can get into as a young person, because you're just cooked after that. And then like the interest you pay on credit card debt is insane compared to like almost anything else. The interest is just way too high and you don't want to be paying all that. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about credit cards. So you turned 18, you just got your first card. You probably got like a student card. I think most of us at 18 we got if you're in college, you probably got like a Discover student card or something like that. That's why I have the Discover um, student card, and I've had that for a little bit over a year and a half now. And the number one thing when it comes to these credit cards is we got to pay it off every single month, no matter the balance. Whatever we spend off that credit card, we have to already have the money. You know, you can't put on it literally everything you want if you don't have the money for it. Because at the end of the month, you got to pay it off in full. Don't do any of that half-ass stuff where you're paying just a little bit every now and then. You got to pay it off in full every single month if you want to be good. So I think that's definitely the number one most important thing when it comes to cards is making sure that you're paying it off in full. And then, I think especially when you're young right now, don't really worry about your credit score. Don't look at it every single month. I know it's interesting, and I mean, you can look at it for sure, but don't be like scared or surprised if it's fluctuating a little bit. Like it might not increase as much as you want the first few months, or it might decrease after a month or something. There's so many different factors that play into it. And of course, once you get your first card, that longevity part is probably what's taking the most toll on your account, or on your score. So you gotta put the time in and wait it out for it to improve to what you may want. But don't let yourself get into debt over this stuff, all right? Because credit cards are really scary if you don't use them right. So that's definitely the most important thing when it comes to these cards. Um, and then especially when you're getting one of these student cards, you don't have too much of like, how do I say it? Like you can't spend too much because you have a credit limit. The credit limit is fairly low on some of these student cards. I think mine when I started out was like 1,500, and you're not putting over 1,500. You're not doing anything crazy and putting over 1,500 because the credit card won't even let you. And 1,500 a month, that's not too bad. Like it's by just working full time, you can make 1,500 a month easily and pay that off every single time. So make sure you're paying off that credit card bill. And honestly, try not to use too much of your credit limit. I'd say, especially when you're just starting out 18, you might still be living with your parents and stuff, and you have all your expenses covered for it, and you're just, buying stuff whenever you're going out with your friends to the mall or like y'all are getting food or something. Just keep those expenses on the card. It'll probably be like $200, $300 a month, and pay that from the account, excuse me, the account that you're making from your job, you know? So whatever money you have in your bank account, just automatically connect, put the automatic payment in from your credit card. You can do that from, the app or whatever for whatever card you're using. Just turn on automatic payments in full on this date every single month. You don't even have to look at it. It's so easy. Turning on automatic payments is definitely like the number one best thing you can do because you don't even have to worry about that. You don't even have to worry about missing a deadline or anything for your card. Just turning on those automatic payments and just making sure that you have money in your account every single month to pay off that credit card. As you get closer to your date, check your credit card statement, see how much you spent that month. If it's a little bit high, think to yourself next month, how can we reduce our spending so that we can save a little bit more? But besides that, we need to look into the account and make sure we have the money there. Because if we don't, and that bill's due in 2 weeks, you gotta hustle, man. You gotta hustle. Don't let yourself lose a payment. Don't miss a payment, no matter what. You know, 2 weeks in advance, check. Start seeing, how much you spent. And you're like, damn, I got 2 weeks to come up with the money of this. I spent a little bit too much. You gotta hustle. You gotta lock it. It doesn't matter. You can't miss a payment no matter what. Um, so I think it's definitely a little bit easier for these younger people, for us younger people, because with that small limit on the card, we can pay it off because it's not too much. It's like 1,500. And after a while, it does increase. Like I think after a year, mine's now over 3 bands, a little bit over 3 bands. And I'm not spending anything like that just yet. I think the most expenses that I'm spending right now is right now I'm in Cali. I'm working here in Cali for the summer. Man, Cali's expensive, y'all. I don't know who here is lives in Cali, whoever's watching these videos, but man, bro, this state's expensive. So I'm definitely spending the most amount on my card now than I have ever, for gas, for food, for all that good stuff, all my living expenses here. It definitely is taking a toll. So, I had to check myself and be like, all right, how much do I want to spend on the credit card? I need to lay back a little bit. I don't want to spend a band this month on whatever I'm spending it on. A couple $100 is going to go to groceries, sure. Probably $100, $200 going to gas. That's just how it is with these Cali prices. Spending almost six a gallon right now is definitely a little bit rough. But I have to keep myself accountable and make sure that I'm paying this off, making sure I have the funds in my account from when I'm working. Putting some aside for my credit card bill, because that is, one of your bills. You got to get that paid no matter what, and paying it in full. Don't do no minimum payment. Paying it off in full to make sure your score doesn't take a hit. Because in the future, when you want to buy a house or you want a car or something, you want that good credit score. And the number one thing, the most important thing is to not miss that payment. All right. So don't let yourself make that mistake while you're young because, oh man, I'll just miss a payment. It'll be whatever. That thing stays on your record for years. All right. Don't let it happen. No matter what you do, don't let it happen. It's not the end of the world, but like, you shouldn't miss it. So why would you do it? It's not the end of the world, but it's important, so don't, especially since now, don't do it no matter what, pay it off in full, set off automatic payments, make sure you have the money in your account every single month. Doesn't matter what you gotta do, hustle for it. You gotta pay that off every single month, no matter what. That has to get paid off ethically, of course. Get the thing paid off. We making money, we making money ethically over here, but pay that off every single month, and you'll be fine. After that, you chill, with your cards. And eventually, as we get older, start adding more cards to our arsenal. Because I know different cards give different benefits. I think mine right now, it's like 5% cash back on some different groups, which switch out every single few months. I think right now it's like restaurants 5% back, which is pretty nice. I don't mind that. And then it's like 1% cash back on everything else besides that. But this is like my first card to sort of start building up that score, building up the credibility of using a card, so that whenever I get another card, it'll be easier to get through that process and get it. And those cards might have a little bit more, better annual benefits. They might have an annual fee, we'll see. But usually those cards give you a lot better benefits. We'll see what I decide to end up going from here. It definitely depends, but you need a starter card, and you need to be good with your starter card in order to get better cards. You have to pay it off. You have to do all that good stuff. Make sure that you keep yourself in check with your first card in order to move on to one of those higher end cards, which gives you like a lot better benefits. I know like those travel cards are kind of insane. You can start racking up your miles and all that good stuff. So definitely be smart when it comes to how you're using your card, because if you are, it all starts to build up, and years and years and years of credit history is important. So the moment you turn 18, if you're one of my younger people watching this, open that account the day you turn 18. Don't wait. Build up every single month counts, and it slowly starts to build up. Don't let yourself get to like 22 and not have a card. Even if you're fortunate to stay with your parents and everything, start building your credit history so that once you move out, you're chilling, right? So be smart with all that good stuff. But yeah, I want to come in here, talk a little bit about that today. Credit cards are definitely an area that we cannot mess up as young people. We cannot let ourselves get into this debt. We have to be smart with it. And if we are smart with it, we'll be able to reap some nice benefits from the whole system of using credit cards. But yeah, I appreciate y'all watching this video today. Much love. Like and subscribe. Comment down some stuff below. If you have any video ideas, anything you want me to talk about, hit up in the comments down below. I appreciate y'all watching today. Catch you on the next one. Peace out.